Well, folks, we have some rain showers rolling across portions of the region this morning. We'll be tracking some heavier rainfall as we go later in the day. We'll time all of that out for you coming up here in just a bit.
Also coming up this morning, breaking overnight, a Prince William County police officer is in serious condition after a car chase and shooting. We're live at the scene with the latest from police.
We found 5 different major pieces of debris that told us that it was the remains of the Titan.
And a catastrophic implosion, a tragic ending to the search for the missing submersible on its way to the Titanic. What we're learning about those final moments.
And later, will it be a summer of lab-grown meat? The new culinary creations coming to a D.C. restaurant. We speak with customers who weigh in on trying the chicken.
The station covering all of the DMV. This is D.C. News Now.
All right, your time right now is 6 o'clock on this Friday morning. Good morning to you. Thanks for joining us. I'm Corey James.
Good morning. I'm Tanaya Wright. We're going to start you off with a live look outside on this another rainy, dreary morning. But Damon, it's Friday.
It's Friday, exactly right, guys. That's what we can keep telling ourselves, looking forward to the weekend for sure. This has not been the most ideal week weather-wise, and we continue to deal with rain showers out there this morning. We have some steadier activity moving across the I-95 corridor down toward Dale City, and then also off to the east into parts of southern Maryland. Waldorf seeing a little shower right there as well, and that activity, it's starting to spark up to our south, and it's going to continue to roll in as we move through the rest of your day today. So we will see periods of rainfall and also some thunderstorms in the mix by the time we get into the afternoon hours, and those thunderstorms could drop some heavier precipitation amounts. So today's not looking the greatest, but do we finally start to see things dry out a little bit as we get into the upcoming weekend? We'll have a full check of that forecast coming up in just a bit.
All right, heading out to Washington County, we're dealing with crash activity. You're looking a lot better, though, on this live traffic camera here. 70 heading eastbound right between Maryland 66 and 17. You will find crash activity. Now, that is to the right. Hopefully, they're working to clear that up, and it's looking a lot better. Your delays are shrinking right now. You're not seeing that long stretch of red like we did earlier. So over to BW Parkway, still heading northbound past 450. We're still seeing a crash there that could slow you down just a bit. I'm seeing some yellow there, but overall you're looking good along the Capitol Beltway and heading toward the district. Most of it is looking good. The Southeast Southwest Freeway heading east and west, it is looking good and clear. DC 295 is starting to slow down, but no issues reported there.
Thank you, Shanika. Your time right now is 6:02 on a Friday.
Let's take a look at your Know and Go headlines this morning. A police officer is in the hospital after an officer-involved shooting in Woodbridge, Virginia. That's according to Prince William County Police. Officials say the officer was investigating a stolen vehicle when the driver hit him. Police say the suspect was caught a short time later.
The Loudoun County Public Schools spokesperson accused of lying to a jury about knowledge of a sexual assault case has been found not guilty. The jury reached its verdict yesterday. Wade Byard testified that he did not know about the assault.
And next month, people in Maryland who are older or 21 or older than 21 will be able to purchase cannabis from dispensaries. This means buyers will no longer need a medical marijuana card. This allows users to have up to 1.5 ounces of usable cannabis. It also allows them to have up to 12 grams of concentrated cannabis. Time right now is 6:03 on this Friday morning. Breaking right now, a Prince William County police officer is in the hospital this morning after being hit by a suspect taking off in a car.
That suspect was on the loose for several hours before officers found and arrested them at about 1:30 this morning. Our Lex Warris is live in Dale City this morning where the officer was run over. So Lex, what is the latest information now from police?
Right, well, police have cleaned up and wrapped up their scene here on Oust Lane, but this is where the police officer was hit by the car and that driver suspect actually crashing the car further down in the cul-de-sac here. But this all started over in a 7-Eleven in Woodbridge around 10 o'clock where someone reported that their car was stolen. Now, Within an hour of that, an officer did find that stolen car here on Oust Lane. While the officer was walking up to the driver's side window, the driver of the car made a U-turn, sped away, and then rammed the officer down. Now, the officer did have time to pull their gun out and shoot at the car before they were hit, but they did not hit the suspect or successfully stop that car. So the impact from hitting the officer with the car caused the suspect to lose control and crash it here down the street. Now, the suspect then left the car and ran away. After over an hour of searching, around 1:30, investigators found that suspect also in Dale City around Dale Boulevard and Princedale Drive. It's about a 5-minute drive away from here. The suspect is currently in police custody. At this point, police say that he is not, or that suspect has not been formally charged or formally arrested yet. Now, they say they'll be giving us a little bit more information after they do formally charge the suspect. That officer in the hospital this morning, we do know, with serious injuries, but we don't have any specifics on the officer's injuries as of yet. Live in Dale City, I'm Lex Juarez, DC News Now.
Thank you, Lex. Well, a person is in the hospital following a late-night fire at an apartment building in Southwest. Now, the fire broke out on G Street at about 11:30 last night. Officials say the 2 other people were evaluated but did not need to go to the hospital. Investigators are working to help any other people that may have been displaced. And 3 people are dead following 3 separate shootings across Prince George's County. Now, officials say 2 of those shootings happened within 30 minutes of each other. Police say the first shooting happened just after midnight on Warner Avenue in Hyattsville. 2 people were taken to the hospital. 1 later died. Officers then responded to another shooting on Palmer Road in Fort Washington just after 5 p.m. That man died from his injuries. Officials say another man died at the scene of a 3rd shooting 20 minutes later. That happened on Naylor Road in Hillcrest Heights. Now, here's what police have to say about the rise in crime across the county.
Nationwide, there's always an uprise in crime during warmer weather. So unfortunately, Prince George's County is not immune to that, but we do have officers out on patrol regularly, and they are able to respond rather quickly when they do receive the call. They see something, to say something, that's the big thing. So that way, they can help in the investigation.
Now, there are renewed efforts to curb crime in Prince George's County, specifically focusing on carjackings.
All right, time right now is 6:06. Police recently arrested 4 teens with 2 loaded guns who they say were trying to steal a car.
That is right. According to police data, more than 30 minors have been arrested for carjacking so far this year. Nonprofits are trying to take a hands-on approach to helping teens and kids in the community. Organizers say they are working to connect positive role models with young people in the county.
We need to find those influencers in the community and bring them to the table so they can end up bringing those other individuals, and we can probably stop this violence and decrease this carjacking.
Nonprofits in the area say more resources like jobs and activities are needed to keep teens busy. They are also asking local leaders for more money to help them with the continued work.
A developing story in Loudoun County. A Virginia jury finds Loudoun County Public School spokesman Wade Byard not guilty of perjury. Byard was accused of lying to a special grand jury about when he found out about sexual assaults at county schools. The first assault took place back in May of 2021. The second was in October of 2021. Investigators say the same student was responsible for both attacks. Byard testified he did not know about the first assault until months later when that student assaulted a second classmate. Byard spoke about the case.
So my immediate thought was, what is the immediate known situation right now? I told my colleagues that if it had to be somebody, it might as well be me.
Byard was on unpaid leave for months. Now LCPS must pay him for that time. Time right now was 6:08 on this Friday morning. Deep sea robots will continue to search the sea and the floor this morning for clues surrounding the implosion of the submersible headed to the site of the Titanic.
That is right. The Coast Guard says all 5 people on board died. Now, these are the 5 passengers who were on board. A father and son, part of a prominent Pakistani family, a Titanic expert, the CEO of the company, OceanGate, and a British adventurer. Now, it all started on Sunday when the Titan lost contact with its support vessel and went missing. That happened about an hour and 45 minutes after it began its mission. The Coast Guard says debris found on the ocean floor is consistent with the sub's parts. Now, the debris was only 1,600 feet away from the Titanic.
And then I know that there's also a lot of questions about how, why, and when did this happen. And so, you know, those are questions that we will collect as much information as we can on now. This was a catastrophic implosion of the vessel, which would have generated a significant broadband sound.
A senior military official said yesterday a Navy acoustic system detected an anomaly on Sunday that was likely the sound generated by the Titan's deadly implosion. Now, the Navy did not consider that information to be definitive, so that is why the Coast Guard continued its search.
All right, some good news for Metro riders this morning. WMATA says 2 stations on the Orange and Silver lines will reopen bright and early beginning Monday morning. The agency is making improvements to both lines west of Boston. But the good news is the East and West Falls Church stations will be open beginning June 26. The second phase of rail work continues on the Orange line until July 16th. Until then, the Vienna and Dunn Loring stations will remain closed. Meantime, we continue to follow developments as Metro faces a major budget deficit. The agency held a meeting yesterday to discuss possible solutions. WMATA is expecting a $750 million deficit by 2025 if something does not change. WMATA said this could include a potential 67% reduction to services, meaning that trains could run every 20 to 30 minutes. During the meeting, officials said unlike other major city transit systems, Metro does not have dedicated funding sources.
This is real. This is not an every year occurrence. This is not standard operating procedure. I believe we very much need a stable, predictable, and sustainable funding source for Metro. And I fundamentally believe that needs to be both operating and capital.
Officials say they have managed costs in several ways, including non-revenue fleet reduction and eliminating some positions.
Your time right now is 6:11 on a Friday. The Washington County school system is merging 2 elementary schools. This after the board passed a plan for the construction of a new school. However, concerns are already being raised about traffic congestion and safety. The new Downsville Pike Elementary School will replace Fountain Rock and Hickory Elementary Schools. Officials say those schools are outdated. The move is expected to save the school system more than $500,000 a year. Parents say they're worried about what the community will lose by closing those schools.
You have, noise from one classroom infiltrating another classroom, which makes for a difficult learning environment.
We've got 2 different schools that are small, community-oriented schools, which is an inherent benefit to be able to have those community playgrounds.
Parents say they're also concerned about an 800,000 square foot warehouse right across the street causing traffic issues. That new school is expected to open in 2027.